What up, what up, what up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right, you heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.
What's up, beautiful people? How y'all doing this evening, man? What's up, Zay?
Q, what's happening? Welcome in, my people. Swish Masters. Halloween edition. Halloween hoops. We out here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Zay, did y'all celebrate Halloween like that growing up? I ain't really do a lot of trick or treating and stuff like that, man.
No, I was talking to Nikki about this the other day, and a few people actually. I went trick or treating once when I was like 4, and anyone who knows me, know my family, my mom, and everything. Like I grew up very Christian, and we didn't really like celebrate Halloween. So I only went trick or treating once in my life. It's a funny story. I was 4 years old. I don't remember what my costume was. We went trick or treating, and there's this one house we went to, and this guy he was dressed like a scarecrow, and apparently I vaguely remember it, but apparently he must have jumped out and like scared us, and that was the last time I went trick or treating my whole life. So,
Man,
ever since that, I hadn't had any Halloween trick or treating experience. I watch scary movies and stuff all the time, but
yeah. I'm similar too. Grew but Christian religious household too. Certain things can do.
Yeah.
And we ain't really celebrate like Halloween like that either. I've never gone trick or treating. You'll have trunk or treat, where like or my mom would compensate by like we just buy whatever candy we want, just give it to us. So it's like
Yeah.
it is what it is. I'm like at the end of the day, it's all about the candy anyway. So.
Dang. So you never went?
I've never gone
Yeah.
trick or treat. I've never dressed up in like a costume. Man.
Bro.
If I'm wrong, y'all, my family let me know. They'll let me know. My mom, brother, yeah, they'll let me know if I'm wrong. But I believe I've never gone trick or treating in my life.
No, that's wild.
Now I dressed up like in costumes for different stuff, for different events and stuff. But I never dressed in a costume begging people for candy. I've never done that.
I had it once when I was 4 years old, and as a kid, like I said, growing up very Christian, um, I went to church on Halloween. We had like
Church.
the awareness of spirits and devil stuff going on Halloween. I was like, yeah. So that was Halloween for me as a kid. But I I celebrate it. I just I still am careful of what I participate in, of course. But yeah, I participate in. We also got to see a lot of the league participate as well, costumes and celebrities and everything. That's dope. So I think it's all in good fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you saw a lot of different costumes and stuff, man, throughout the NBA over the
Yeah.
weekend, and it was all good fun. People dressing up, so that's cool. That's cool. And maybe we talked about it beforehand. We probably could have dressed in like, probably could have got a wig or something, but it is what it is. Uh, so let's go ahead and get
I'm picturing it now, bro. Like you having
yeah.
on like a big wig.
You remember? I don't know. You remember this, but back in undergrad, we had different events with like Lucky Day and stuff. I had that. It was like a Jerry curl
Yeah.
wig with some shades, bro. It was like I think
Yeah.
it's a mystery party type thing, mystery dinner type
Yeah.
thing.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Was
man.
that the same event that y'all performed? No, I may be having it confused, but I remember this event where y'all performed a Michael Jackson song. Cause I remember Tevin. You remember Tevin? Like
Yeah, I
he
remember
did.
Tevin, bro.
Oh man, I can't remember if that's the same one or
He did a
not,
lot of
but
different stuff though, man.
it was a good time.
It was fun, man. I remember.
But I do remember that Jerry curl you had.
Yeah, man, for sure.
That was dope.
Had that. um, I guess, man, there's a lot of stuff going around in the NBA. Y'all know we're gonna get into that. Then we're gonna talk about continue our season preview stuff and debut our power rankings, man. I'm gonna have the West covered since my favorite team resides in the West for this week. You got the East, so looking forward to see what you got, man. We got that later in the show. Y'all stick around for that. That's gonna be really cool. But first, let's get into this NBA news, man. Dude, I remember. So a couple days ago, all of a sudden, the Spurs like released Joshua Primo, right? Like they actually waived this dude.
Yeah.
Now, when I first heard the news, my first reaction was like, it had to be something bad to be suddenly released like that. Um, then it turns out, man, dude was apparently, allegedly, this is allegedly now, he was exposing himself to women. Uh, it's also not a good thing that, I mean, I won't say good thing, but it doesn't paint a good picture when the attorney for the accused is attorney Tony Busby. If y'all heard that name before, you're an NFL fan, you know about Deshaun Watson. In his case, he represented all the multiple women in his sexual misconduct case. So the fact that he's attached to this, it's already not looking good. I believe the Spurs did the right thing, waiving him. Joshua is focusing on his mental health. He actually released a statement. He said, "I know that you all are surprised by today's announcement. I've been seeking help to deal with the previous trauma I suffered and will now take this time to focus on my mental health treatment more fully. I hope to be able to discuss these issues in the future so I can help others who have suffered in a similar way. I appreciate privacy at this time." If you're a Spurs fan or a basketball fan in general, Primo was a former 12th overall pick. He, a former lottery selection. Has a lot of upside as a talent. So I believe before teams try to claim Primo, they're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. They need a certain amount of cap room as well, though. He's making like around 4 million this year. So your team has to have enough cap room of at least 4 million to bring him on. So yeah, what's your reaction to this news of the Spurs waiving Joshua Primo?
When I first saw Woj put it out on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
I saw it and I was just like, this is weird. I was honestly confused. I didn't think anything of it at first. I was just like, why did they just up and wave this random kid, you know what I mean, on I don't know, Wednesday night or whatever. And then I saw his statement first before the alleged accusations were revealed. So I was just like thinking, oh, okay, he's having a mental health crisis and he, is needing to take some time away from basketball. And then I saw that he was actually waived for allegedly exposing himself to women. And I'm just like, come on, dog. I'm not saying that it's true, but this is bad. That's a bad look on you as an individual. That's a bad look on the Spurs organization, because I mean, obviously, we the equivalent of the Spurs has always been greatness, and a very honorable franchise, great team, great leadership, great legacy, and for that to be the case, I'm just like, really, and then the action itself is just inexcusable. And honestly, in the past few years of professional sports, it's just been terrible type of behavior, type of conduct. Even I know, I don't watch football, as many people know. I have the slightest clue of football, but I know about the Deshaun Watson situation, and that just is, I don't know. I'll be frank. This is just disgusting to me.
It's sick.
And now this, I'm like, come on. He's also young, and I understand he has time to learn, but this is just inexcusable type of behavior, man. You have, one job, and that's come to work, come to play basketball, come to practice, go home. And I don't think that any dude should be exposing themselves to women in the least bit, because that's just gross behavior. Yeah, man, that's just terrible. Apologies to the women that had to endure these type of acts with professional athletes, or just men in general. It's just inexcusable behavior, and it really bothers me. But I hope he learns from it. He gets the help that he needs, and if he's able to come back and sign with another team, that he's got his head on the right path, and stays away from this type of stuff. Like, professional athletes have the access to get help. It's just the same thing as putting into the work of basketball, the craft, is putting time into it, putting effort into it. So take it seriously and take this time to get mentally stable and healthy, man. So
yeah, I wonder. The thing with Deshaun Watson, he was just outright against it. He refuted the claims of the numerous women. I wonder how Joshua would approach this situation, because the woman, at least one of them, retained Tony Busby, which is, you can probably assume that he's going to go forward with a lawsuit of some sort. I wonder how Joshua will respond to that. And What would his response be? Will he be defensive like Deshaun Watson was, or would he be more accountable if it's true? Again, both the Watson situation and this situation are alleged. That means we don't know the truth. However, the fact that the Spurs released him does not paint the most positive view on the situation. Um, in my opinion, something was done to where the Spurs released him. That's just a fact. That's fact. Now, that's it. I'm just wondering how he'll respond to it. But shout out to the Spurs, are a class organization. Shout out to them for getting on the front of it as they could. Um, Hopefully, they do things inside the organization to address the situation and to comfort their employees there, because that's definitely got to be an uncomfortable situation. So, but I trust the Spurs to do all the right things that need to be done, because they are one of the class organizations in the NBA. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Spurs are a world class organization, and especially in the times that we live in, you have to understand the environment you're in. Whether you're young, old, you play a professional sport or not, you need to understand that that's inappropriate behavior, and especially like now, Deshaun Watson's case, Ime Udoka situation. I feel like that type of stuff is more so than ever going to be on a microscope, and I don't know, and it probably has to be some sort of mental block, I'll just say, for that to even be like, oh, I'm going to do this and risk me losing my job, my money, my opportunity to just play basketball for a living. Because if there was me, there's no way. Like, I would be doing anything to jeopardize that. But shout out to the Spurs, and I hope that Joshua Primo gets the help that he needs.
I agree. If he needs mental treatment, he says he's seeking it, and hopefully, that treatment goes well, for sure. Let's move on to another topic. What happened? Another thing that happened recently. Bogdanovic. Yo, what's you pronouncing? What's his? I know I'm not pronouncing his name right.
Bogdanovic.
And there's a bunch of Bogdanoviches in the NBA. There are
sorry.
though, man. There's a Bogan Bogdanovic. What's the other one?
Bogdan.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the bitches, man.
All the bitches.
There's a lot of Bogdanoviches in the NBA, man. Anyway, this Bogan Bogdanovic, agreed to a 2-year, $39.1 million contract extension, man. Getting paid like that, I gotta make sure I get his name right, man. I'm gonna call him BB for short. Alright, so yeah, I believe, he was traded from the Utah Jazz in the preseason trade, and the Pistons decided to extend him. So, personally, I like the move. I think it's perfect for him. I don't think it's too much. I think he's a valuable player who spaces the floor for you. And the Pistons got a good one for at least the next 2 years. They have a really good asset, whether they want to keep him or whatever they want to do. So, yeah, what's your reaction to the trade? Not the trade, but the extension.
I think it's a good move by Detroit. Bogdanovic is a great player, great shooter, and I feel that young core with Ivy, with Cunningham, they need veteran presence, and not only that, he can obviously still contribute. He's, like I said, a great shooter, um, help shape the game, and he can help knock down provide you some extra offense. And like I said, just being that veteran leader. Bogdanovich, he's been around for quite a few years, and um, that I've been watching JJ Redick's podcast. Why can't I think? The Old Man the Three.
Oh man, yep.
Donovan Mitchell was a guest on there recently, and he's just talking about that team, and they had the same team for years. Bogdanovich is part of it, and he's a great player. So I think it's a good move by Detroit for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good move. He's already proven to be an impact on the floor with that young group. It's good to have a good veteran presence as well. Some of a playoff experience, which is somewhere where the Pistons want to go. So, yeah. Shout out to him for getting the bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Donovich.
Yep. Let's move on to the next story. This happened literally yesterday, I think, last night. The Lakers, who were 0-5, 0-5 to start the year. They were the last winless team in the NBA. The Lakers finally got the first win. They tried a lot of different things, man. AD was hurt, but he played in the game anyway. They benched Russell Westbrook. He coming off the bench. Ham is trying all these different lineups. And the Lakers finally got a groove going. It seems like before that win, they could not hit a bucket. But yesterday was different. They actually shot 43% from three-point range. It seems like a miracle compared to everything else. But I just got to shout out the Lakers and their perseverance, really. And shout out to Darvin Ham he kept telling them just to shoot. Eventually the shots would fall because they were good open looks. All these games are open looks. Yeah. And shout out to them for keeping up their defense. This is a top 5 defensive team in the league. And when you get some type of shooting, that tells you that they can win. Your reaction to the Lakers win. Shout out to the Lakers.
You got one. Good job. No, but for real. Shout out to
your reaction is kind of right, though. I mean, it's one game, but yeah.
No, I mean, it's a big milestone for Coach Darvin Ham. Sure. First win as a head coach. Shout out to him, and like you said, he's doing a lot to try to help them win. Trying different lineups, bringing Russell Westbrook off the bench. Just trying to manage AD's time, health, and just keeping the guys encouraged. When you have a shooting slump like they've had for these first few games, and you're one of the most microscopic movie teams ever, it can be a lot of pressure. So shout out to him for keeping his head as a first-time head coach and for rallying his guys. And the thing I enjoyed the most really about it, about their win last night, was Russell Westbrook getting, having a great game, in my opinion, and just finally feeling the love in LA. And I'm sure you saw the moment where the crowd and him just interacting. I was like, finally, man, embrace this man. I get it. He made some bad choices, bad shots. They missed some shots, but the woes aren't all on him, and I think that they're figuring it out as they go still. But I'm just happy that the crowd's not booing or they're giving him energy. I think Russell Westbrook has always been that type of player who needs that type of energy. He gets that energy from the crowd to keep going and go as hard as he does. So I was happy to see that. Of course, LeBron balled out. We're on the Kareem watch for him, which is gonna happen soon. But yeah, that was my thing about it. But like I said, well, like we both alluded to, it's one win. It was over the Nuggets. It's impressive. You got one, but I know Lakers fans. I know as just basketball fans in general. One win is one win in like what 6-7 games is not that impressive. So I'm hoping that they can turn it around and go on a run. Because I'm not even a Lakers fan, but it's just as weird to have LeBron and AD and Russell and not be in contention for the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. And but for real, shout out to Darvin Ham, shout out to Russell Westbrook on their first win of the season. Hopefully they build onto it.
Yeah, even though the Lakers were losing, we did pick out the positives from that opening night loss. Remember, we talked about how the defense looked a lot better, for sure. And that's
something I'm
consistent.
impressed on.
Yeah, that's been consistent. So the Lakers did turn around defensively. You just have to figure out how to make the pieces work. And everyone and their mama knows before the trade happened and when it did happen that the fit isn't the best. It's not. I mean, all fans knew that. It's tough when you have two ball-dominant players that need the ball to be effective. It's different because Russell Westbrook is not a shooter. He hasn't been that his whole career. He's a type of player who needs the ball in his hands. And be on the floor with LeBron James, you're not guaranteed to get the ball. So the best thing to do is to stagger the minutes somehow, and which is something coming off the bench does. Even though he came off the bench, he still played 30 plus minutes, like about 32 minutes, I think it was. Not only that, he had the highest plus and minus on the team too, so that tells you his effectiveness. And in a rare occasion, LeBron finished with a negative. It was -1, but still. That just shows you the effectiveness of that Russ had coming out the bench, and it went on that run.
Yeah.
He was like 18-0, 18-2, something like that run. So it's a very positive experience. Shout out to Russ for embracing the role. I wasn't sure how he'll approach it. I was not sure, being a Russell Westbrook fan and a fan of him since OKC. I was not sure how he'll take it, but by all accounts and by all reports, he has been true to his word about him willing to do whatever's for the team. So it's a very humbling experience, but I believe a lot of people. I still believe Russell Westbrook is a starting caliber player, like for sure. I still think so. It's just that on this team, it's fit. LeBron is best with shooters around him.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Westbrook is best with shooters around him.
Yeah.
But no shooters around you, I mean, there's only so much you can do. And I like some of the things he did, like cutting and giving goals, and there's a lot of different things he was doing. They need to do a lot more of that.
That's something I want.
LeBron being more off ball whenever Russ is on the floor. All those things help. So, the chemistry can help. It's only been a few games in this role. Yep. It's a very small sample size. So, I don't want people to overreact, but this is a positive move.
Oh yeah,
it's positive.
It definitely is, man. And I just want to touch on something real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
I don't want the, and this is less so about Russell, but more so about this thing about LeBron, about him needing shooters and being ball dominant. When you
Okay.
look back at his career real quick, just for a second, I just want to make it I want to make some clarifications because I feel like people take this thing and make it into a different narrative.
All right.
So obviously it's LeBron. He's been point forward, center, everything, right? He's done it all. And he is a guy that, operates with the ball in his hand because he's one of the greatest to do it, right?
That's right.
But when you look back at his career, he's played with some ball dominant players and he's done great things with it. If you look
Okay.
at if you look at Miami days, let's just take 2010, 2011 for instance.
Okay. Okay.
Going to Miami is D Wade's team, right?
That's right.
And they obviously they had chemistry. They played well together, but there were still adjustments. Like there were some times when all right, D Wade's gonna take the final minute shot, LeBron's gonna take the shot, whatever, whatever. And ultimately, they didn't win a championship in their first year. They
Nope.
still had issues going into it, and then the next year, that summer, they worked out together and figured it out. Kyrie Irving, another ball dominant player, another guy that does a lot of ISO scoring, a lot of getting his own bucket. They didn't win a championship their first year together. Second year, they did, and they found a balance. And it's not like nobody adjusted. It's not like LeBron was just being ball dominant, scoring all the points, and taking all the possessions. They found a way to balance it. They found a way to adjust their games accordingly. Whether that was D Wade becoming more of a cutter, or being able to knock down shots, some catch and shoot, mid range or three. Kyrie, same thing. Or LeBron becoming a pick and roll guy, like you being the forward, being in the pick and roll, pick and pop, whatever, and then making plays out of it. I think that him and Russell Westbrook, the only him and Russell can make that adjustment and make that type of connection, in my opinion. And yeah, it hadn't worked, obviously, we know. But the difference between the guys I named with Russ, with Kyrie, with D-Wade, D-Wade found another way to adjust his game by becoming a cutter, playing a little bit more off the ball, and still being able to dominate when he had the ball. Kyrie, same thing, being able to play off the ball, being able to catch and shoot. Russell, just the only thing he's lacking is the shooting. But even when I look back at with him and James Harden, he obviously they adjusted to a different type of game where they were playing small ball, and Russell could just go crash and go do whatever. But also James Harden was the guy he was playing with, and they had to me a pretty good season for what people kind of wrote them off, with them two being ball dominant players. Russell also became a cutter. I saw a few lobs where I'm like, that could be that. I'm sure that was a fun time in Houston still, even though they didn't go far. They got to the playoffs. They won some games. And even like in Washington, Russell had to really kind of defer to Bradley Beal, who's also a shooter. But I don't think that it's fair to say Russell Westbrook can't mesh with another ball dominant player. I think it's just a matter of timing and a matter of figuring out what is the best method. And like you said, Russell is a player that's prideful. He's been the best player on a lot of the teams that he's played on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, he's coming to the situation with LeBron and AD, and he's got to like fit in. But he, to me, can still be a very like impactful player if you give him the time. Like it doesn't happen in one season, and especially like I said with LA, with all the noise that was coming in the past like season and this season. I feel like I really just want to see them. I want to see Russell win. I want to see him happy. You know what I mean? Like that's the least thing, and that's the like smallest thing I want to see. And I still don't believe they can win a championship, if I'm honest. But I feel like you can't just say LeBron and whoever can't play together. That's all I'm trying to say.
I, good,
I know it's not the
good,
same, but
good,
I'm just like,
good soliloquy. That's a good sermon. Preach. Uh, I don't know, man. The key thing about that though, all LeBron teams that is I gotta go back on that a little bit. For example, Dwayne Wade, did he not have to sacrifice though?
mhm.
I mean, so yeah, we all agree it requires some type of sacrifice to play with LeBron.
Yeah. No,
Because
I would.
because you can't be as dominant, so you sacrificing some of that dominance you used to have to play with him. And like you
Mhm.
said, it does take some time to adjust, and it did take some time to adjust. I give you that. I give you that. But at the same time, still had shooters. Those Cavs teams and the Heat team had shooters. You had a
Mhm.
Mike Miller, you had a Ray Allen, you and Cap with the Cavs, you had a Kyle Korver. You know, you had these shooters around you. The Lakers literally did not have one.
Yeah.
They still have a lot of guys that could potentially. They're not just proven shooters. They're not sharpshooters. Just to be real, the one sharpshooter they have is someone they picked up, Matt Ryan. Who man, he's not performing the best. You know, so you still need shooters, and I'll give you some credit though. I'll give you some credit about that though. I mean, Russ has played with the likes, like you said, Bradley Beal. But Bradley Beal is a player that does not really need the ball. He's played with Paul George. Paul George does not need the ball as much as like as Russell does to be effective. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean that's true.
I give you that. The main takeaway I get from you is like give him some grace and some patience. And plus, they were hurt last year. You know, you didn't get a full, they didn't really get a full year together.
Yeah.
So it was like, give some grace to it. I give you that. I give you
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I'm not saying that he can be just without sacrifice. I'm not saying Russell Westbrook doesn't need to sacrifice. He does.
Yeah.
He does need to defer. But I'm meaning that you can't. I'm just trying to get away from the narrative. Oh, it's they lost. It's Westbrook's fault. No,
I mean,
it's
yeah, I, you
it's
know, I agree
for
with
the
that.
lack of
You know, I don't believe that. But at the
depth
same
and
time,
shooting. And
yeah.
yeah. I just like I be seeing stuff on Twitter. I'm like, man, oh, y'all don't get it. I mean, I understand. Yeah, what Westbrook didn't have play. He didn't play well a lot of games, but it's not because of one player or because of two players not connecting as well. It's the full team, like you said. It wasn't. It's not like you can just say, "Oh, you got LeBron and Russ. Oh, championship." No, you need to surround them with shooters. You need to surround the team. You need to have a team that can balance. There's no balance. It's like, all right, they got LeBron, they got AD, they got Russ, but after that, you don't have, like you said, any sharpshooters. You don't have any like 3 and D guys. They don't have a. It's a clunky team still. So
Yeah, that's all. That's all on Rob Pelinka.
who
I
got
mean,
an
this roster is trash. I will still say that this is a
no
poorly constructed
disrespect,
team.
Lonnie Walker or anybody.
No, a lot of workers coming on. No, that's not. It's not that. It's just the construction of the team is poor.
Yeah,
That's it, and that's honestly what's going on. But at the same time, if we're gonna say that, what can we say about the Nets? Because going into the season, this is one of the best rosters, but they're 1-5. So there's something going on. I mean, like, true. I can point to the Lakers roster as like the reason why they could be 1-5. The Nets have one of the best rosters in the league. I don't really know what's going on. Sixers, one of the best rosters in the league. Don't really know what's going on. It's that's another conversation. To me, these teams with these big names are not really doing well right now. You got the Lakers, Russ, AD, LeBron, the Nets with Kyrie, KD, Philly, Joel Embiid, Harden. And we see these other teams, they are doing well. Who thought Utah would be where they are right now?
Utah's balling.
Or the Trailblazers?
Same
Really?
time. Simons,
The
man.
Pelicans. Like, there are these teams without all these big names construction. Like, I believe the Big Three era is done. The LeBron-led Big Three era is done. It's done. These teams are not having success. It's the teams that are built from within that are having success. The Celtics, the Suns, who are mostly built from within. And you get a free agent that can really help your team, like Chris Paul, to fit, not just get the big names. Honestly, the Lakers didn't have to get Russell Westbrook last year. Year before last. One of the main things why you get him is because, oh snap, the Nets got KD and Kyrie and James Harden. We need a third name. What about Russell Westbrook? Don't know if it'll fit, but it's a name. Let's get him. Don't work. That don't work, man. These big names are not working. It's not working anymore. This era is over. The era of the superstar-driven teams are about done. I think they're done. It takes precision draft picks. It takes precision targeting of free agency. It takes true team building like we've seen in the past. This is not working anymore.
I agree, man. I think you bring up a valid point, man.
They ain't have to get Russell Westbrook.
They didn't.
They were doing just fine. You just won the championship. Y'all was just hurt. AD was just hurt.
Yeah, they were in the playoffs and they lost to Phoenix.
Exactly.
Yeah, if AD or LeBron would have been a little more healthy, the series could have been different. But like you said, as I look back, we were hearing about Russell to LA for months, like after the season was over. The 2021 season was over, right?
Yep.
As I think back, I remember it was a lot of names, right? But it's kind of weird to go from, you got all these superstars combining, and that was the formula for the 2010s, and now you're going away from that with teams that are kind of built within. And I think I saw it on Twitter too. SportsCenter put up a graphic like that saying the end of an era, since the Lakers were 0 and whatever, or at the time 0 and 5, Nets were 1 and 4, even the Warriors were like 2 and 4, and I'm like, part of me was like, I wrote it off because I'm like, all right, it's kind of early to.
Me too, man. I kept seeing a lot of posts like that, man. I'm like, it's so early. It's 82 games.
It's especially about the Warriors who just won the championship. I'm like, it's kind of early to say that, but now that we've that you brought it up a little bit more and talked about like just the name combination and big threes and whatever, it really has not went well in the past 2 or 3 years. Like Brooklyn, they got their big three with Kyrie, KD, James Harden. Didn't really have a lot of depth, but all right, whatever. They got 3 of the best players in the league, right?
Exactly.
Didn't work. Got hurt, or whatever. LeBron, AD, got a championship. Then they got hurt. They got, all right, let's get a name, like you said, Russell Westbrook. Here we go, and
then we go back to that again. DeMar DeRozan was set to come to LA.
He was.
Some can see as a better fit. Who knew he'll take off? Nobody knew. Nobody knew he'll take off like that. Nobody knew. But at the same time, you can still argue he can be a better fit just because some of the shooting he brings. That's it. Even if it's mid ranges, it's still shooting. But no, you know why? Because the name is bigger. That's it.
Huh?
That's it.
Huh?
And then number two, like Russ did bring the Wizards to the playoffs after they started 0-5. Like, if anybody can bring a team that's from 0-5 or whatever, it's Russell Westbrook because he's done it twice. So you want to look at that some optimism for the Lakers? I don't know. You can if you want to. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just part of it, man. You had more. Man, if you're the Lakers, do you regret trading for AD?
I mean, you can't regret it because you got the ultimate goal. You won the championship, but now
but a lot of people are discrediting that championship, and they're still gonna discredit.
It's not right.
You know that, right?
Say what?
You know people are discrediting the championship
Because it was in the bubble.
Yeah, and it's an interruption of the season. You had like a whole mini off season within the season. And
I don't think
there's no really true home court.
That's what to me made it more. And this is just me, but I feel like it made it more interesting because now the crowd obviously plays. We've heard how players talk about having the energy of the crowd and everything, and some players complain about not having their home team and that energy, and it's different, right? It is, but at the end of the day, it made me feel like I'm at the gym. I got my team, you got your team. We just hooping, and if you win, you stay on the floor. If you keep winning, you get the championship. So it was just like straight up hoop. There's no other like element to it. It's like, all right, I got my team, you got your team. Can you beat me with just pure basketball? Just pure game. No other like, I'm not calling the fans distractions, but no other outside noise. It's literally you, 94 feet, 2 hoops and a ball. That's it. And I feel like it made it more challenging to also have to stop, readjust. Some people have to get back in shape, get back to playing basketball in the midst of what was, globally, the world stopped again. So I get it. It's not the same for everyone, but it's not fair to be like, all right, we can't count that because it was the bubble. Like, no. Like, it was to me like it's just a basketball purist type thing. If I'm going to the gym, I'm playing my team, we win, we stay on the court. Is it? No one's watching, no one's there. I don't know. I just feel like it's.
I hear you. Me personally, the ball brings challenges, but I'm just gonna play the other side for it real quick because no matter what you're saying right now, there's still gonna be people that discredit that championship. Now, on the other end, this is the other part. You have all these years in NBA history, at least the past in this era, how the playoffs are formatted and how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this one outlier where it's different. There's one single outlier compared to everything else. It's not the norm. It's outside the average. It's an outlier. Now, since it's an outlier, does it deserve an asterisk? I don't know. But because it's such an outlier, people are going to discredit it. And that's just the reality of it. Now, I believe there were some challenges that made it very unique. You're playing without friends and family. You're playing in an very isolated place with tests and all these things going on daily you have to do. It's tough. I'm sure it's mentally draining. I'm sure it was. although it brought those unique challenges, it is still an outlier, and there are still people out there that discredit it for whatever reason. It's not fair. I don't think it's fair, but it's just a thing, and it'll always be there. And there's always be a question in the back of your head. This is why the Lakers need to make another run and get back to it, but they have not. It's just they have not. That feeds into the argument. Oh, that was just an outlier. Oh, that didn't mean nothing.
It makes sense.
And real quick, Anthony Davis. Are you telling me that AD would have lasted the whole playoff run based on what we've seen the past couple years since he's been on the team? Since he's been on the team, he's been hurt. What, 2 out of 3 playoff runs? And that one playoff run he was fine was when we had a big, like, mini off season within the season. So he was like a new season, healthy. Now, the wear and tear of the regular season does have an effect in the playoffs. I can make an argument that AD probably wouldn't have been as healthy if it was a normal situation.
Yeah.
Which was still going to argument. I don't know if I was right training for him.
A lot of questions that need answers right here.
I mean, this is all what ifs, honestly, hypotheticals, but still.
I mean, that's a solid hypothetical to me because, and I'm not trying to discredit the dude, man, but every year AD is hurt. I kid you not. I can't remember one year where he didn't miss several games.
Yo, I remember.
I honestly can't.
And on the jump, bro, they had a whole list of his injury history, man.
It's bad.
I mean, it's bad.
It's bad. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like having the mini off season during 2020, during the initial pandemic year, didn't aid some guys that needed the rest, like AD. Like, I'm sure he got, like you said, the regular season is a grind, and for him being his size and how he's built and everything, he takes a lot of hits, gets hurt, and it's not anyone's fault. It's not his fault.
No, not at all.
He probably got some much needed rest. I'll give you that. And maybe he just, at that time, maybe he did have a fairly healthy season up to that point. But you can't, I can't even deny that. I can't even act like that's not a thing. But
and this is a top 75 player.
We're not gonna speak on that. I'm not gonna speak on that.
This is a top 75 player.
Oh, well, I don't know
I'm
about
not saying
that.
AD's not a good player. Y'all know I'm not saying that. It's just
he's a great player.
We all know that. It's just that Jalen Rose brought this up too. A lot of pundits have brought this up. Anthony Davis used to be involved with one of the best players on the planet argument. Nowadays, he is not in that argument. I watched the game against the Nuggets, the first game, before Russ was coming off the bench, man. I'm like, I know Jokic got better, but AD was that dude back in the day with that name that was like, you can't post up on AD.
Because he'll swat your shot.
Exactly. But Jokic was bullying the dude. At least in that first game. I'm talking about the first game. And AD had a certain dominance and reputation around the league. It's not the same. This is not AD top 5 player.
I got a question for you.
What?
Who retires first? Anthony Davis or LeBron James?
I'm gonna say LeBron just to be logical with it, but at the same time, I'll reference the NFL. There's a player by the name of Andrew Luck. He was in his prime. A lot of people thought he would move on. He would still be a good player, but one day he was just retired out the blue. He was like, enough's enough. I'm tired of getting hurt. And he was one of those injury-prone players as well. So Anthony Davis is becoming one of those injury-prone players, unfortunately. It's like every fall, it's a gasp. It's to suck the air out of the room. Sucks the air out of the stadium. Every fall, every grimace, every groan. Yeah. Like, if he looks upset, if he looks like he's passing gas or constipated, it still looks off. Like, oh no. But, man, it's, you know what? I'm going to say LeBron for right now. But there's no sense. You have LeBron James, who's in his age, year 20, and Russell Westbrook, who's also an Iron Man himself, known throughout the league. These two players, and you can't get any advice on how to stay healthy throughout the season, or see what trainers they're using, or what regimens they're on, or something.
Well, at this point, I don't even think it's about recommendations for training and doing external things. It may just be his
That's his makeup, I guess. I don't know.
his genetic makeup just may not be what is needed to be durable in basketball. I go there because, and I promise you, I'm not trying to speak down on AD or anything. I got to see him live before, so I respect everything that he's done for the game and like been to the NBA. But it's just a sad reality that he literally has an injury history list that's like a book. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? But
That's bad, man.
I do hope that he's, able to endure and build his durability up for this season and upcoming seasons. But it's just like, man, I don't know. This may be year 10 for him, maybe 11. But
Yo, when was he on the Lakers? Since when? What year?
joined the Lakers in 2019.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
What you looking at his time in LA?
Yeah, man. Listen. Since 20, I'll start in the bleeding the bubble because this is like. Now I'll start in it's like November of 2019. It's like right shoulder, rib, shoulder, short right shoulder, shoulder. A lot of shoulders in here. Ankle, knees, glutes, gluteus maximus, gluteus maximus, shoulder, finger, calf, elbow, knees, elbow, eye, right ankle, knees, ankle, back, fingers, ribs, heels, calves, adductor, toe, back, ankle. All that was just 2020, 19 to 20. This is 21. It's a lot, man. Achilles, calf, adductor, knee, groin, thumb, thigh, head, thumb.
That's not funny, but
I'm sorry. No. I feel like I'm playing Operation or something.
Oh, this
Or the Blue's Clues song or something, man. The thumb you connected to the knee. But I'm sorry. Wrist, foot, back. All right. It's not funny though, but man,
it's not funny.
But that was the past 2 years though,
bro. This is like a
It's
life.
not funny, but man,
this is like a lifetime of injuries for an average person, and I promise you, I'm not laughing at AD getting hurt. I'm just this list is just like, bro, what's left of him? It's just like knee, shoulder, toe, groin, like it, bro. It's honestly it's sad, but it's also just like you said this list is only from
All the ones I read from 19 to 21.
Two seasons?
Yeah, about the past 2 seasons or so, man. That's what I read.
Dang, bro, like, oh, I hate that. But gosh, that is a heck of a list. Oh my God. But for real, man, we wish AD the best, man. We wish him great health in his career and over his life, for real. It's just we got into this rabbit hole, and
again, I humbly I apologize, man, because I can't imagine going through all these injuries, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot to,
It's got to rely on the mental too, man.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you think that somebody would be able to help him out, you know?
Oh, if only it was that simple, man.
Dang, man. All right.
Well, Anthony Davis, if you're watching, if you're listening, stay encouraged, man. We aren't making fun of you. We really just wish the best for you. Get healthy, man. Stay safe.
I was saying, I hope he's not listening.
Oh, that's fair.
But if he is, I sincerely apologize, sir. But honestly, anybody look at that list will agree, though. That's ridiculous.
I'm sure if he looked at the list, he would say it's ridiculous. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot.
I ain't know what the gluteus maximus was. What is that? I know the gluteus maximus. I know that. That was actually an injury, though. But I don't know what's a gluteus.
wait.
Unless there's a typo in this thing on Fox Sports. Because that's where I got the list from. I guess that's a typo. I don't see anything with gluteus maximus.
He hurt his. Oh my God.
Oh, there is a. Wait, never mind. No, it's not. That's got to be a typo. Somebody did a typo. Gluteus. So if somebody had a typo on there, I could stand to believe maybe someone got some injuries wrong on that list. So shame on you, Fox Sports. So I'm pulling up his gluteus maximus is like a song or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to. No, this kind of goes to what we're talking about. So, Miles Turner actually was on the Woj podcast, man, and he said this about the Lakers rumors and the Pacers rumors. You know, they've been involved in these rumors for a long time, especially with Russell Westbrook and draft capital going to Indy for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. You know, we all know that trade. Mm-hmm. Miles said this: if I'm the Lakers, I take a very hard look at this with the position that you're in. I know what I can provide for a team. My leadership, my shot blocking, my three-point ability, and just my ability to make plays out there on the floor. And I take a very long look at it. But as far as pulling the trigger, I get paid to shoot. I'm not paid to make these calls, so I couldn't answer that. First thought about this, I'm like, is this tampering?
Well,
I don't know. I mean, that's a legit question. Is this tampering?
I mean, it's not team to team or a
but
team.
You know how the NBA takes this stuff, man. Doc was like fine for doing an interview. Tell him like what you want, like whoever it was. You remember?
I guess that's fair.
I can't forget the player, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
this is an interview. I mean, right now he's contracted, so I don't know. Clearly, this lets me know that that Turner is at least interested in going to the Lakers. But honestly, this is the question. One, should the Lakers pull out the trade? Two, does it make them a contender if they do?
If the Lakers,
Like, one, should they pull out the trade? And two, will it make them a contender if they do?
if they get substantial pieces, like I get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, but those two to me, I'm not thinking that's fixing everything. And plus, are you giving up Westbrook and a package of players or picks like cash? I don't know.
Apparently this will be the Westbrook and those 2 draft picks. Which will be first rounders.
Even if they were to pull the trade, this doesn't put them in contention, in my opinion.
I agree.
I like Buddy Hield. I think he's a great shooter when he's got it going. I like Miles Turner, I like his game, shot blocking ability. But this does not put them any closer to winning a championship in 2023. It to me it doesn't. They need to improve their bench, if anything, and figure out the lineup. Like, I know Russ came off the bench, but are you gonna keep?
And Schroeder still hurt.
They have 3 points.
That's the thing, though. They got so many guards. I don't know how they're gonna make that work. They got so many guards,
and they're all in the rotation. And it makes me think of
Suns.
what Pelinka did last year with not that.
Oh, okay.
Rondo and Westbrook. Now you bring Pat Bev and Westbrook.
Good point.
Why you keep bringing not the best, let me see, not terrible shooters? Rondo's not a great 3-point shooter. Pat Bev is an average 3-point shooter. Russell Westbrook isn't really a 3-point shooter. And you're bringing in the dudes he had beef with. It's like, all right, I don't get it.
The MO was to get shooters, though. They did not get shooters. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now the only hope is JJ Redick
returning.
Honestly. I mean, who else out there is like a proven shooter? Is Kyle Korver retired? Oh, well.
Get some young players, man.
I don't know if that's the thing. You don't know any young shooters.
I'm not saying who to get, but as of right now, they don't have it. They have not figured it out. And it would be a move to make, but I don't think it puts them any closer to contention. It maybe helps them to, add some spacing with those two, with Miles Turner being able to shoot the 3, which I'm not like, all right, I'm expecting him to catch and shoot. You might get a few, transitional buckets, being the trailer for the 3 at the top, but he'll catch and shoot. But those are giving you that much shooting across, the season.
Right. I would definitely want Miles Turner more. If I'm me personally, I would definitely really go after Miles Turner. I would try to get him for like maybe a second, but I don't know if they have the pick available, man. I have to look at the Lakers picks because they've traded so much in that AD trade. I just don't know what all picks they have left. Honestly, It would be a good move because I love the potential in the front court with AD and Miles Turner. Miles Turner at the center, AD go back to power forward. I really like that. I really like that potential. And then if you do get Buddy Hield, I mean, the only thing about Buddy Hield, he's not the most efficient shooter though. I mean, he's a shooter, but he's just not the. I feel like there is a misconception with that. Like he can shoot.
That's freaky.
But yeah, that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, he's streaky, very streaky. Um, I don't think it'll put him in contention. Not really. Not really. It's just a move to make, and then if you make that move, you sacrifice your future even more. You know. But at the same time, it kind of sucks it's like this because the AD trade was meant to, like, after LeBron is at this age right now, it'll be AD's team.
It's supposed to be.
And AD goes on to be the leader, the franchise player, and you build around him and maybe bring more free agents in. You know, that's why you make a trade like that.
Yeah.
But now it seems like your future is in jeopardy because you have a player in AD who doesn't seem to be consistently healthy. So, I don't know.
Well,
I don't think the Lakers should give up 2 picks. Me personally.
nah.
It'll just be like a band-aid that doesn't fully cover the scar. Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, as we talked about, as you mentioned previously, the superstar era of combining all these star names is over. I think it is over, and teams are building through the draft.
Yep.
But you need to keep some picks these days. You draft picks are essential to be able to build over the years. And if you look at always, I guess we use them a lot, but they've literally won 4 championships. Golden State built through the draft. Like, they traded for Wiggins and signed Iguodala years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but their core players, like 6 to 7, half of the players on the team are like, all right, they've been drafted there. They've built into the system. And everybody else needs to kind of build their team, build the young talent into that. So we'll see. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Miles Turner to the Lakers too, but does it make him a championship?
No, it doesn't at all. But it depends on what picks you try to give up. And this is the other part too. The Lakers made themselves. The best trades are done in silence. Like, if I know you're trying to make this trade, I have all the leverage.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough just to get them on. Like, I believe a 2nd round pick is worth it. I wouldn't go any higher. But because the Pacers know this, they have all the leverage. I can give it 1st, or maybe 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Lakers' best bet, just stick with it. You only got 1 year with Russell Westbrook, then you can get that whole contract out for books. And as we discussed earlier, maybe him coming off the bench is valuable. Because the issue was, he's getting paid all this money, but you're not seeing the output worth that amount of money. Because of the fit. Because of the poor roster construction. But shout out to Darvin Ham, who's making it work. And yeah, they should not pull off this trade. Don't do it.
It is.
Yep. And last piece from around the NBA. This happened. This was announced a couple hours ago, honestly. So there was an investigation into the Philadelphia 76ers. And as a result of this investigation, it was announced that they would have their second round picks in the 23 and 24 NBA drafts taken away because they violated free agency rules with early discussions with PJ Tucker and Daniel House Jr. during free agency, well, before the free agency period. So, we've seen things like this before. Like, you remember that trade that was going to go down between, I think it was like the Hawks and, yeah. It was Milwaukee and the Sacramento, man. And the Heat and the Bulls also lost stuff, man. Because remember, that trade was supposed to go through. I was like, I really like this trade. But, you're talking too early.
Yep.
Stuff like that, man. Teams just got to be silent. And now, along with this, the Knicks are in a similar investigation with Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Y'all are just doing too much. Just be quiet. Just wait. And he wanted to lose these picks. Because I was like, he did sign kind of quick. Thinking back, man. I'm talking about PJ Tucker.
All right, I know you're talking about.
Because I was like, okay. So you clearly had discussions before.
And
if you're Knicks, this is just another stupid thing you did. The signs are on the wall that you won't get them anyway. And two, you don't get Donovan Mitchell. Now you're about to lose some picks too in the process. Come on.
That's typical Knicks fashion. We knew something was going to happen. Something just ridiculous was going to happen with them.
Come on, man.
Yeah. But yeah, the Sixers. That's wild. I feel like I knew about the PJ Tucker leaving situation at least a month before it actually happened. I feel like before he was even
reports out there, man.
Yeah. And I get it. And as Jimmy said, Jimmy has some words, but he respects PJ. They have history. Him, James, House. They're familiar. And they've got their old what is their award? President?
Yeah. GM,
they got their former president, GM. They have a system. So I'm sure those guys have been in contact. And it's not the first time. This happens all the time.
This happens all the time. You're right.
Talking, conversations are being had.
Exactly.
This just happened to be. They got a little sloppy. They got caught. So I'm not surprised by this. This happens all the time, I'm sure. But got to be more careful. Like we're talking about the Lakers. Real G's move in silence. Shut up. Just make the move and go.
Exactly, man.
Too sloppy, man. It's cool. The NBA is so weird in a way that we as fans, we in the off season or between games and the season, we can predict almost what's happening, and it's we should just be in reality we should just be oh, this guy got traded, oh, they signed with them, what right. But in reality we are all right, he's probably gonna go to A, B, or C. We were able to narrow it down to 2 or 3 teams a lot of the time these days, and it's I don't know, it's partially and it's not a bad thing, but reporting people like putting stuff out there, but also these organizations talking too loud. So and now you pay the price for it.
Yep.
Like Jalen Brunson, for example, I feel like all right, he dropped 40 in what was that game one of the playoff. Sign with them after this season. So I'm like, it's not even game three. We're talking about, oh, he's gonna go play with the Knicks and he's currently in the playoffs with this team. Like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, dog. Like, I don't
Yep.
understand.
Yeah, it does seem that reaction was really quick after that brief playoff run. You're right. You're right about that. Man, it's tough. So that's news from around the NBA. Normally we'll go into like our season preview stuff, but we'll say that for like our our next podcast episode, which should be on Wednesday. We'll keep y'all tuned to that though. But for now, we're still gonna debut our power rankings though. I'm excited about this though. And this will serve as like our final switches as well, kind of, sort of, maybe. All right. So, Zay, I'm gonna let you go first, man. Let's see if this top 5 teams you got in the East. I'm ready to see this, man. Let's see what you got.
All right. Welcome into the Swish rankings. My top five of the Eastern Conference of the NBA.
That's it.
In no particular order. I'm just gonna rattle off some names. The Cavaliers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, 41 apiece the other week against the Celtics, against the reigning Eastern Conference Eastern Conference champions. These guys look great to me. I think they're at 4-2 right now. I may be wrong. I don't have the records up right now, but they're looking good, man. I like what I'm seeing from Cleveland right now. They have been fun to watch, and I feel like they're only going to get better. I got to shout out. Honestly, I'm going to shout them out. I'm going to shout out the Knicks. I like what Brunson is doing. We just talked about him, signing the day after the playoffs was over last year. But I feel like the NBA is different when the Knicks are decent, or they're because they're not good right now, but they're decent. I feel like, all right, they're like 3-3, and they have potential to rise. They have potential to be really good. Obi Toppin, Showtime Knicks is looking good. I got to shout out my guy Pete. I'm sure he's been watching some Knicks games and enjoying them. So I think they have a lot of upside. They just got to put it together defensively. My other team that I feel like people are gonna probably not look at as much, the Wizards. Even though Bradley Beal isn't scoring, I think he's at like 20 points a game right now. He's dealing with a little bit of injury. I'm really paying attention to Kristaps Porzingis, who's having a pretty good season. He's shooting, I think his effective field goal percentage is like at 57% right now. So he's having an impact on the game, and this has been like his best effective field goal percentage in quite a few seasons. I think we all knew like Dallas was pretty much a letdown. Him and Luka should have been a lot better. But I think that's another player who's on a revenge tour. They're probably like at 3-3 or 4-3. So still on that, like, all right, we're still like figuring it out, but they have that potential upside. Want to see them continue to develop. Will Barton playing well, came back from his injury, getting a lot of minutes in the fourth quarter. So Shout out to the Wizards. I think they're gonna be an exciting team down the line this year. Got a shout out to the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown, to me, is taking a bigger leap. Jason Tatum has been super efficient. They still look very much like they are, defending the Eastern Conference crown right now. I like what I'm seeing. Their defense has been well, and they're playing well with all the noise that came with their situation with the coach this past summer. I think they're at 4-2, so they may have slipped the game, but still very much in the top of the conference right now. And last but not least, the Greek Freak and the Deer, the Milwaukee Bucks, are just clicking, and Giannis is averaging league-leading points, rebounds. They're 5-0. I don't really see them losing anytime soon. Honestly, Giannis is probably going to cruise to an MVP if he keeps playing like this. It's still early in the season, but I expect the Bucks to be on a mission. I expect Giannis to be on a mission, going on a deep run for this season and playoffs and everything. So I think they're going to continue to excel. And once Middleton is like fully back, I feel like he's kind of not fully there yet. Not ready. They're going to be really, really good. So it's my quick Swish rankings / final Swish. I'll let Q get this Western Conference in.
Well, real quick though. So I know you don't have a particular order though, but who's the best team to you right now in the East?
Oh, the Bucks, hands down.
All right, cool. We good.
Bucks hands.
All right, so we on the same page there. But the one team I would advocate for. I mean, what about the? I'm just surprised the Knicks are in here, honestly. I mean,
it's a lot of teams right
there.
In that middle of the way.
I mean, that and the Wizards to a certain degree. Although they have been like impressive early though. Than where I thought they would be. But still, is there no way to maybe advocate for like the Hawks to get in there, or maybe the Raptors?
No,
Those are
I think
two
it's
teams I'm wondering about.
Yeah. No, that's fair. The Hawks are actually like 4-2 right now.
Yeah, they're 4-2.
That's fair. No,
No, it's your list though, man. It's your list.
Yeah, I don't want to. What I was trying to avoid, basically,
Just like based on the record thing.
Yeah,
me too. I'm looking at competition too.
What they have, who they played, potential.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't. Obviously, I got to put the Bucks in there. They're
of course the Bucks. Yeah, the main. We agree with the main thing though. Like, yeah, we agree with that.
But I was just looking at it. All right, well, I'm gonna throw some teams in there that I feel like could be on the rise, or like, have a lot of potential to be higher up in the power rankings right now. Like with their upcoming week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking it. But yeah, the Hawks definitely are good right now. Raptors as well. But yeah, that's my list for now. It'll change next week.
It'll change. Yeah, you'll have the what's next week. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into it. All right, I'm gonna give y'all my top 5 in the West. Zay gave it to you like in any type of order. He said the Bucks was the top team. I'm gonna give it to you straight up. The 5th best team in the West right now are the Memphis Grizzlies, man. This team, I mean, this position could have gone to different teams, honestly. But you got Ja Morant, Desmond Bane. The Grizzlies look good. Without Ja on the floor, I mean, this team has a lot of potential, especially going back to last year. I really like the prospects of this team. Number 4, you got the New Orleans Pelicans. Man, I mean, we all knew that Zion would be an impact player this year, but just to see it come together on the floor, it's just been a beautiful thing to see. And to be this effective, honestly. You have CJ McCollum, you got Brandon Ingram, you got Zion Williamson, and all these great role players right now. They're 4-2 right now. They're top in offensive rating. They're top in, like, the defense is good. Trey Murphy has been a great fill-in. This team has been very, very impressive, and I'm looking forward to see how they match up with this newly invigorated Lakers squad with Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. I'm ready to see that. But yeah, do not discount the Pelicans, man. It's awesome to see. Number 3 is a surprise. It's a surprise team, man. I got the Jazz. Who knew the Jazz would be at 5-2 right now? Who knew? And there's a lot of due to their defense, man. Their tops in pace, man. Their defense is crazy. I was very surprised that they got the win over Memphis. Although Ja Morant didn't play, the Jazz were able to get that win. That's why I have them at 3, and the Grizzlies are at 5. Because as the Grizzlies, you shouldn't lose to a team. I don't care if you don't have Ja Morant, but you shouldn't lose to the Jazz. But anyway, the Jazz won, and they're proving themselves, man. Their first loss is honestly to the Rockets, and that's the Rockets' only win right now, honestly. But still, Kelly Olynyk has been great. Jordan Clarkson, still that dude. The offense is one of the best offenses in the league. It's very impressive considering that you got rid of your star franchise player and Donovan Mitchell. So, shout out to the Jazz. Number 2, I got the Blazers. 5-1 right now. They have been very impressive over some of the competition, not just record. I'm looking at competition they play as well. They beat the Lakers. I know a lot of people think about the Lakers right now as a certain team that you know what, like, so what, you beat the Lakers. But still, they've been impressive nonetheless. Shaedon Sharp has been that dude. I mean, hey. Early Rookie of the Year candidate? Anybody? I think he could be. He's looking very good, looking very comfortable. I like what Portland's got going on so far. I'm loving it. And of course, you got at number 1, the Phoenix Suns. They're the best team in the West right now. It's nothing to be said. They're beating some good competition. They are. It seems like despite the off-season, controversy with DeAndre Ayton and whatever's going on with Monty Williams, it seems to not really affect what's going on the court. They are top in both defensive rating and offensive rating. And all this is going on despite a key contributor not playing in Jay Crowder. How are they having all this success without Jay Crowder on the floor? And with the off-season talks with DeAndre Ayton and stuff, is beyond me. There's more credit and power to that organization. And with all the Robert Sarver stuff too. And this team is finding this much success. Shout out to the Suns, man. Chris Paul is still doing his thing. And Jock Londell, I think, is his name. He's been very impressive in DeAndre's absence on the floor. So he's been a very valuable teammate on the Suns too. Very underrated. But look forward to looking at him on the floor as a backup. So right now the Suns are streaking again. Will it result in a championship? I don't know. I still think that window's kind of closed, but we'll see. But that's my team. I got my top 5 Grizzlies, 4 Pelicans, 3 Jazz, 2 Blazers, and 1 the Suns. What's your reaction to my list?
think it's overall a pretty good list, man. I will advocate for another team. I feel like
All right, what you
should be
got?
honorable mention. Spurs.
I
Spurs
mean,
are still they're 5-2.
I knew that'll come up. I knew that'll come up. This is my argument against the Spurs. This is my argument against the Spurs. And you know what? Honestly, I thought you'd bring up the Mavs.
Eh, I expected more. I expect more from them. And right now, I feel like Luke is carrying a big load for Luke is carrying the load, and it's not as balanced as it should be right now. But
Yeah,
they'll be better. I feel like they always get off to kind of a rough start this season. But yeah, the Spurs to me have been impressive.
they are. They are.
Their record right now is better than honestly Pelicans, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Thunder.
Of course, better than my Thunder.
Thunder
But
are
then
three.
that's and true part of it too. They have had some good. Uh, they play against some good competition. Like they beat the Sixers. That was surprising. They beat the T Wolves. They beat the Bulls. They have some valuable wins in there. So I give you that. I give you that. I understand that. But at the same time, you should be a team that should be tanking. I don't know. I thought they were. But it's at the end of the day, I don't see them as being serious like contenders like that. Like the top 5 teams, I just give them slow. Like I ain't believe the Jazz would be here, but they've proven themselves to be here at this point. Will it continue? I don't know. We'll see next week. I think the Blazers will be in this position. We all predicted the Pelicans and the Grizzlies would be, and of course the Suns. But right now the Suns is number 1. I'm surprised you ain't talk about. Yeah, my pushback against the Mavs is that they lost to OKC. Why are you losing to OKC? We trying to lose. That's my thing.
Yes, I posted the
That
clip
that one loss to OKC put the Mavs out of it for me because I was thinking between like the Mavs and the Grizzlies at the 5 spot. Honestly, I really was. But looking at the competition and remembering they lost to OKC, I was like, no. And that's with the healthy Luka. No.
Your team isn't following your plan, man.
No, we're still doing all right. We're still doing all right on the track. We're doing
I
all
just
right.
posted the clip of you from the other week saying, "All right, for every one game you win, lose 5." I even forgot about that. I had to remind.
I did.
And I'm like, but it's all good.
It's
They
all
are
good.
trying to win
It's
some
not
games.
the Lakers listen to that.
Alexander's
The
playing
Lakers
beautiful.
listen to that advice than my team, man. They ain't supposed to be like that.
Yeah,
How the Lakers and the Nets listen to that advice?
yeah,
That's crazy.
that's a lot with those 2 franchises. Still, like dang, it's like
Yeah, I
it's
don't know how we 500 right now. But anyway, yeah, the other team I thought you didn't bring up, the Golden State, I had an argument ready for that too. They have not looked the same since opening night. They just haven't.
They've slid a little bit.
They slid. I'm not going to lie. They've slid. Listen, at the end of the day, do I think they'll still be in the playoffs? Yeah, I do. But they should not be losing to teams like Detroit. Really? Nah, man. No. That's all. I look at competition. I look at who you play against. I do consider who was healthy and who was injured, but still, there are certain teams you still should not lose against. I don't care, especially trying to get another chip. So that's that. So y'all tell us what y'all think of our list, man. First Swish Masters Power Rankings in the books. Next week, Zay's gonna get the West. I'm gonna get the East. We'll be watching these games, and we'll have another one for y'all next Monday, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, and as far as our season preview, we'll continue that next podcast. We'll see when we'll talk about the Southwest Conference, Southwest Division. So that's gonna be Good conversation, man. Look forward to hear your thoughts on the Pelicans' outlook for the season and the Grizzlies and the Mavericks and all that. And after we're done previewing all the teams, we'll give our official predictions. And that's going to be fun, too. So, we got, after the Southwest division, we'll have 2 more divisions to go over. And then that'll be that.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, you'll see some different teams there next week.
We'll see, man. Yeah, that's one thing I ain't bring up. You ain't mention your boys, but
I didn't, man. We slipping right now.
yeah, listen. Yeah, I'm surprised, man.
I'm not worried about it though. It's annoying. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm not worried about it.
All right. That's what's up, man. All right. So this has been another successful Swish Masters podcast. Make sure you check us out on the bottom of the screen right here. Those of you listening, check us out on the podcast and platform you're already listening on, whatever that is, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever. And continue to support and check us out and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook. Continue to like and share. We appreciate y'all and look forward to talking to y'all next time. All right, this is QtheGuru. I'm being forced to sign off if you're looking online. I'm signing off.
I'm Zay, the executive producer. Thank y'all. See you next time. What up, what up, what up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.
Oh.